Hi, and welcome to my video on extra problem number 3 pertaining to the derivatives. Y equals 1/3 x cubed minus 7 over 3x squared plus 5x minus 3 is a cubic. In terms of y, it's because it's degree 3. And I want to graph the cubic including the x-intercepts, the y-intercepts, the maximum point, the minimum point, and so on. So let's start. We want to find the x-intercepts. So the x-intercepts is when we let y equal 0. So we put 0 in the place of y, so we get 1/3 x cubed minus 7 over 3x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals 0. Now notice we have a cubic, and every cubic polynomial has at least one real root. So let's have a look at it. What real root does it have? Well, we have the possible roots are plus minus, and it's all the factors of 3, which is 1 and 3, divided by all the factors of 1/3, which is 1 and 1/3. And when we divide that, we get plus or minus 1. Divide 1 and 3 by 1, you get 1 and 3. And if you divide 1 by 1/3, you get a 3. Divide 3 by 1/3, you get a 1. So these are all the possible integral rational roots that were possible. So what we'll do, we'll try by synthetic division, we'll try a 1. So we have a 1/3. We have negative 7 over 3. We have a 5, and we have a negative 3. So we do synthetic division, so we draw a line here, bring down the 1/3, multiply 1 by 1/3, we get 1/3. That gives us a negative 7. Subtract 1 is 6 over 3, that's a negative 2. Multiply 1 by negative 2, negative 2. Add, we get a 3. Multiply, we get a 3. And add, we get a 0. So this is what I call the remainder. So if the remainder is 0, that means 1 is a root. So what we need now is to look at the other equations. This is the pressed equation. So we have 1/3 x squared minus 2x plus 3, minus 2x plus 3. So we'll make this depressed equation equal to 0. We'll multiply by 3 because we have a fraction. So x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0. And this is factorable, hopefully. X squared is x and x. Factors of 9 to give you 6 are 3 and 3. Sum is positive. The product is positive, sum is negative, so it has to be 2, the same sign, so it's a negative 3, negative 3. So that means x minus 3 is equal to 0, x minus 3 is equal to 0, x is 3, x is 3, so we have a double root. So we have one root, or one x-intercept is 1, and we have x-intercept of 3 and 3, so that's a double. So that means it's gonna, because that's the same as an x minus 3 being squared, and because it's a square, it acts as a parabola. So at the 3, we're going to have a bounce off to make a parabola. Either come down like this and go up, and then come down, or it'll come up from the bottom and bounce off, and then turn here and go up. But let's see what we have. Let's look at the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is when we let x equals 0. So we take this equation and put x equals 0, y equals, put a 0 here, we get a 0. Put a 0 in here, we get a 0. Put a 0 right here, we get a 0. Minus 3, so y equals negative 3. So x is 0, y is negative 3. X is 0, y is negative 3, so that's your y-intercept. Now, I know because this is a plus, that means it comes down from the top. It comes down from here, hits down. Now, again, it's a double at 3, so it's going to come down here, hit at 3, bounce off, and go up, and come down through, and go on. So there's really the shape that I'm looking at. But to verify that, we will find the maximum and the minimum points. I know that I can come down from the top here, bounce off, go up, and come down like that. But to verify that and to find these points, I'm going to find the derivative. So I'm going to do y prime on this polynomial. So the derivative is 1/3 times 3 is 1x squared. And I have negative 2 times 7 over 3. So that's a negative 14 over 3x. Derivative of 5x is a plus 5. And the derivative of a constant is 0. So to find the maximum minimum point, we have to let the slope equal to 0. So that means x squared minus 14 over 3x plus 5 equals 0. And because we have a fraction, I like to multiply by the common denominators. Common denominator is 3, so multiply everything by 3. So it's 3x squared minus 14x plus 15 equals 0. And I use the quadratic formula, or I can factor either or. But let's see. It's 3x squared is 3x times x. The factors of 15 to give you 14. Well, we can put, you can't put 15 here because you got a common factor. There's no common factor here, so you can't put 15 here. So you can put a 15 here and a 1 here, but if you put a 15 here, you get a 45 and a 1. Nope. So we have to put down a 5 and a 3. Let's see, 5 and 3 is 9. 5 and 9 is 14. Because the sum is, because the product is positive, sum is negative, I have 2 negatives. So multiply 3x squared minus 9x minus 5x, that's a minus 14 plus 15. So we have 3x minus 5 equals 0. X minus 3 equals 0. So 3x equals 5. So x is 5 over 3. And right here, x is 3. Now, these are the values of x that give us the slope of 0. So let's see what happens if we take this value of x and plug it into the equation. So y equals 1/3, and we're going with 5 over 3 cubed minus 7 over 3. So I'm filling in 5 over 3 in the place of x. And I'm just filling in the 5 over 3. It just takes a bit of time to fill it in. And then we take our time and work this out. So that's 125 over 27. And we multiply that, we get 125. That's 27 times 3 is 81. And right here we get 25 over 9. And 25 times 9 is 175 over 27, because 3 squared times 3 is 27. And here we get 25 over 3 minus 3. And we need an LCD, so the LCD is 81. We got 81, 27, and 3. 81 is the LCD. So that gives us 125. 27, 81 goes 3, so 175 times 3 is 525. 3 into 81 is 27. 27 times 25 is 675. And that's over 1, so 81 times 3 is 243. So that means y is equal to, when you add all that up, you get 32 over 81. So this point is 5 over 3 and 32 over 81, which is less than 1, obviously. And so this point, 5 over 3, is almost 1 2/3, is about here. And this is a little bit less than a half, so we'll put the point about right there, just an approximate. And what about when x is 3? Well, when x is 3, y is 0. So I can sub that into the equation and work it out, but I know I'm just going to do it. Putting 3 in the equation. But I know I'm going to get a 0, so that's 27 divided by 3 is 9. That's 9 divided by 3 is 3, so that's 3 sevens are 21, negative 15 minus 3. And if you add it up, it's 24 there, negative 24 here, there's 0. So that's the point, which is at 0, 3. And the only thing we have to do now is decide we know where 0 is. So let's look at what we need to look at. We need to look at when this expression is greater than 0. So if we make 3x minus 5, x minus 3 greater than 0, what we need to do is look at where this comes out to be, right here. This comes out to be a 5 over 3. And this one comes out to be a 3. And remember, this is y prime we're looking at. So now we're looking at where y prime, that's y prime, is greater than 0. So if we put a 4 in here, put a 4 here, we get a plus. Put a 4 here, we get a plus. So that's a plus and a plus, which is positive. And between 5 over 3 and 3, that's less than 2, so let's put a 2 here. So we put 2 in here, we get a 6, and a 5 is plus. Put a 2 here, we get a negative, so we have a plus and a minus, so that's a minus. And less than 5 over 3, let's put 0. That's 1 2/3, so let's put a 0 in. Put a 0 here is negative. Put a 0 here is negative. Negative times negative is positive. So it's greater than 0 or it's plus. So that means that at 3, plus is moving this way. So in relation to 3, the slope is positive in terms of 3. Between 5 over 3 and 3, the slope is negative, so that's going like this. And after, to the left of 5 over 3, is positive, so it's doing this. So that means that this point at 5 over 3 is a maximum. And this point at 3 is a minimum. See, a maximum is positive on the left and negative on the right. A minimum is negative on the left and positive on the right. So based on that, we have these points. So it's positive to the right of 3. So it's doing this, as we said, it's coming down, but it's bouncing off. It's going up, and it's coming down through. And just a little bit on the direction here you need. There it is. Here's what it looks like. And this, again, this maximum point, where this maximum point here is 5 over 3 is right here. So this is 5 over 3, comma 32 over 81. This is a maximum, and this is 30, which is the minimum. This is a 1, and this is negative 3. Right? So we have the graph of this function. We have the x-intercepts, the y-intercept, and it's positive slope here, negative here, and positive here. So it's positive, negative, and a positive slope. So this is a maximum because it's positive and a negative. Positive on the left, negative on the right. This is a minimum because it's positive on the left, negative on the left, positive on the right. So again, this is a minimum point, and this is a maximum point. And once more, a minimum point is positive on the right, negative on the left. And a maximum point is positive on the left, negative on the right. So I thought I'd make up a problem to review all parts of the graph. And again, notice you had to find the possible rational roots. So this is an excellent, excellent question. And again, if you like my video, click the like button, click the subscribe button. Visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. And it's the content I have on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Just one word. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video helped you. Bye-bye.